You're watching Drake Queen Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Queen Gaming. As some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Lucas's Path. So y'all, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. Alarm chain, you're up, and let's go! Alright. You can play it, you know. All students are allowed to use this place, apparently. I'd rather not. Unlike you, I'm not as interested in music. I prefer the violin over everything else, but it still hurts my ears sometimes, and all the noise can be overwhelming. When I'm playing, at least. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I know. I wasn't accusing you. I just don't really understand your fascination with it. I enjoy some quieter music, but I don't listen to it often. I only really listen to atmospheric background noise while I'm reading. I didn't know that there were people that didn't love music. I thought it was a universal thing. Not for me. You'd love my mother, though. She's always going on about something related to some performance she'd recently watched. A couple months ago, when she visited, her and R.A. spent hours talking about and singing songs for musicals. I bet you're not a fan of those either? They're better. I enjoy the creative way that they tell their stories, but they're often too abstract for me. It's needlessly complicated. I just don't like two people singing at the top of their lungs right next to me. I bet. I brought earmuffs after that. They come in handy when R.A. brings someone home. He does that with you there? He warns me, and I usually go to the library and study there, but sometimes it's late and he's drunk. I don't like going out after dark, so I just ignore them. I don't know if I could ignore them. I got used to it. I'm not sure that's a good thing. He pulls away from the instrument rack and sits at the bench next to it, leaving enough room for me to sit next to him. The break reminds me of something that confused me earlier. Hey, how did you find me, by the way? The receptionist said you went towards the music room, and I heard someone playing the piano. I figured it was you. If it wasn't, I was just going to text you. It's not difficult. Right, but I'm making a large distraction. No one looked annoyed when I walked in, but I've never been very good at judging people. If they had a music room around here, they'd probably be used to hearing it. They're probably used to hearing it. This room should be soundproofed. Ow. Sorry, y'all. My face exploded. Ow. I don't think it's the proper practice room. I think it's just a storage room that students can use, but that's just a guess. He ponders that for a moment, but I don't think I don't think he's interested in that room. Instead, his eyes are scanning me up and down. Are you doing okay? I really can't tell. He looks ashamed at that, like he's done something awful because he doesn't know what's going on in my head. It tugs at my heart and makes me want to hug him, but I relent. I saw over at college. Ah! Sorry, I got up not too long ago. Yeah, I'm doing much better yesterday. Much better than yesterday. I'm just trying to put it behind me. It was a lot. Why does it bother you so much? The question catches me off guard because how could it not bother him? We went through a waking nightmare. That would bother anyone. We went through all that. How could I just ignore what happened? Because it didn't happen, probably. Not really. We don't know that. We don't know that it did happen. Stressing over it is stupid. We got a lot worse to worry about. I don't have time to fret over dreams while I'm at college. I guess. My worries must have been plain because he leans against me, wrapping his tail around my waist to rest on my lap. Like a soft blanket of warmth that tickles my arms. I'm sorry, I'm not good at this. It's okay. You're trying, and that's more than enough. And it is because as soon as I catch sight of his amber eyes watching me from my shoulder, it melts away my worries in my heart. Embracing this intimacy, I lean back against him until my head is resting on top of him. It makes my stomach flutter, and I'm glad no one is here to see us. What about you? Are you sure you're okay? Not much to really be upset about. It was just some group hallucination or trip. What's the point about stressing over it? I'm meaning you being here. Oh, I'm not a fan of the school building, but it feels closer to an office than a school, so that helps. I guess, but you look really upset over Constantine. You look just as terrified as you did in that nightmare. Second, y'all. It is coffee time. Okay? It's nothing. I just didn't think I'd see him again, and I didn't expect to see him in a wheelchair. Did he not have one when you knew him? No. Seeing him like that made me feel sick. He stuck in that chair while I was standing in front of him like a fucking asshole. Hey, don't beat yourself up. It's not like it's your fault. He doesn't respond to that. Instead, he just looks away before getting up and walking towards the door. Instead of leaving, he stands facing the door while he continues talking to me. Thanks for coming with me today. I'm not sure I would have gone through with that if you weren't there. You wouldn't have talked to your old friend? I don't think so. We talked and everything's strange. It's like, gotta clear my nose. Okay. You must have been glad you were able to meet him again, though, right? There's so many people I used to know when I was super young that I wish I knew if they were doing all right or still remembered me. He leans his head against the door, closing his eyes in the process. There's something about it that feels like a warning to drop the subject. This must be more complicated than I thought. Ari wants to meet up with us soon. He said he wanted to take us somewhere. I don't trust him, but he said he invited Lee along, too. I doubt he'd be able to do anything too bad with him around. Yeah, I bet. If Ari pulls anything like Oscar does, he'll put a stop to that really fast. But again, he seemed a lot more lenient with Ari during that little random meetup we had. There's a lot more trust between them than he has with Oscar. Is he practicing extra? Damn it. No, he doesn't practice on Fridays. He usually goes out to a bar. I really hope that's not where we're going. Lucas's phone rings and he pulls it out from his pocket. I've never paid attention to his phone before, and it's larger than I expected. It's nearly half more than my own, and he's not even using a case. It must be really expensive. Mine is like 6 years old that I got for Christmas from my mother. I can't believe he's so nonchalant with something that costs that much. It's him. He's at the entrance. Let's get this over with. Do you not want to go? I do. It's fun spending time with the two of you. I just know we're going somewhere filled with people, and I don't do well with that. Then we'll ask him if we can go somewhere more quiet. He cares about you. I don't think he'll take you somewhere you don't like. Right. You're right. Sorry. I just prefer you to expect the worst. You're in luck because I always find the best in people. I know. You put up with me longer than anyone else I know, other than Ari or my family. I'm not putting up with you. I enjoy spending our time together. Right. We should go. Ari's probably waiting for us. It's clear that his face is heating up, and he doesn't help himself as his voice cracks, making him flush so hard I can even see his rosy cheeks through his black fur. But I don't want to make him uncomfortable, so I just play along and follow him out the door. I hope this night it isn't too crazy. Lee and Ari are already waiting outside. They stop talking as soon as they catch sight of us. I expect to see Lily somewhere, but she's nowhere to be found. Where did Lily go? Not sure. I think she had some classes left. That's pretty late, isn't it? What time is it? A little past 5. We were there for that long? I look over at Lucas, but he doesn't return my shock. Instead, he looks more confused at my lack of awareness. It doesn't feel like it's been 2 hours since we met Kostya. Half of it was spent in there. You really got into playing the piano. I did? I didn't realize I lost that much time. You play the piano? Ooh, that's adorable. I'd love to hear you play sometime. Lulu won't ever play the violin for me. I don't know why he keeps it around if he's never going to use it. I do practice. You're just never home. Why don't you wait till I'm home, then? You know I want to watch. I don't want you to. Martin bursts into pouts, looking like he's trying to make his eyes water, but fails stupendously. Now he looks to be trying to appeal to leave, but the possum doesn't even acknowledge his attempt. Where are we going? It's not a club or anything, right? One second, y'all. It is coffee time. Oh, yeah. That's the stuff. Oh, heavens no. I don't think Lily would let me. Lily? Is that me? Yeah, I used to call you Lee back in high school, but it's no fun if you go by it regularly now. Then again, I did enjoy calling you that in the closet. Enough. Just Lee. Aw, no fun. Oh, well. Lulu, Walter, and now Lee. Ari really likes his nicknames, doesn't he? It's stunning that Lucas doesn't get along well with Oscar, considering how many similarities he has with Ari. Aura? Is it Aura? I think it's Aura. Wait. The same could be said for Lee, too. He doesn't seem to genuinely like Aura, but he has a distaste for Oscar for seemingly the same traits that Pine Martin has as well. I know they have a lot of differences, too, but it's still striking. Anyway, where was I? Where are we going? Oh, right. Sorry, hun. There's this cute little cafe only a street over from the arts department. It stays open late and is very popular with some of the students here. Some of them? Don't worry about that. It just makes me worry more. Now, let's get going before the sun begins to set. We'll likely be out until a little after dark, but we don't want to burn too much daylight. I know Lulu isn't a fan of being out at night. It's not too popular, is it? It's more a niche but loyal clientele. Fridays aren't too popular. People are usually out partying, not going to a cafe. There will be some boys there, though. But it's a quiet place. Bruce keeps it that way. Who's Bruce? He just runs the place. He's a bit scary, but he's a good guy. Just don't get on his bad side. Sounds like someone I know already. I know, right? Isn't it tantalizing? That's not what I... He gives me a wink that makes the twisting of my words even worse. So just shut up and let Aura be the center of attention. Now let's go. No objections. No one answered. Lee is just standing with his arms crossed, eyes closed as he listens to the rest of us. Even Lucas looks content after hearing it's going to be a quiet place, though he still looks a little uncomfortable. Come on! And just like that, our little group follows Aura and what a peculiar sight we must be. It feels more normal to see Lee back in his usual leather jacket, but this might have been the one time that it worked in our favor. Lucas and I already stand out with how formal we're dressed compared to the loud and revealing attire that Aura is wearing, but when you toss in the punk aesthetic Lee has, it gets even more jarring. Some students stare at us as we walk towards the edge of the campus. One hyena even does a double take at the sight of us, and I have to force myself not to hide my face. Lucas doesn't look to be wearing the same level of embarrassment as me, his face returning to that hostile, cold expression, but I can see all the attention making him tense. Thankfully, this doesn't go on for too long, and any staring stops the moment we walk off campus. I guess regular people don't have time to care about random people's clothes. Aura mentioned that the cafe was nearby, but I didn't expect it to just be across the street. Well, that's not entirely true, but it might be as well. It might as well be. On the opposite side of the road, next to the arts section of a campus, is a pedestrian-only street going between two stores. It's wide and filled up with many different stores. There's a candy store, a pawn shop, and even a video game store. Talk about a hidden gem, though it isn't really that hidden. This place is a hotspot for students to come. A bunch of the places here are closing up for the day, but the food places tend to stay a little longer. He points to an Asian restaurant sticking out of a wall with only seats and a cover on the top of the outside. 3 of the 5 seats are filled up with customers. I've lived here all my life, but didn't even know these places existed. I guess I never really explored Everwinter that much. You should come here more often. It's fun and a great place to go on a date. Aura makes no attempt at being subtle as he bumps against me, forcing me to press against Lucas. I expect Lee to interfere, but he just smiles at his antics. Second y'all. Coffee time. Wonderful cold brew. He looks like he's enjoying it just as much as Aura is. Hey, stop that! You're going to knock us over! Oh, I can't help it. You two are just so cute together. I want to just smush you two together to your little ball of black and white fur. God, you're so weird. I prefer wonderfully unique. You always love being the center of attention. And that hasn't changed, Lee. Lee rolls his eyes at the pet name and shakes his head, ejecting himself from the conversation as quickly as he entered it. Ari just gives the two of us a wink like we're part of some inside joke with him before he twirls ahead of us. It's like he's being pulled away by the wind. Slowing down to our side, Lee gestures something at Lucas, who just nods and walks ahead. He catches up pretty quickly to Aura, and from the looks of it, he's scolding him, likely over all the teasing. We were together in silence, basking in the scents and sounds of cooking food. It's clear he wants to ask me something, but he's trying to ease into it. Are you, doing better? You weren't looking too good yesterday. Yeah, you saw me at lunch. I'm doing a lot better. I'm glad. I was worried Aura might have been a little too much. He had a habit of pushing people when he really shouldn't. Sounds like the two of you were close. Not really. There just wasn't too many gay guys in high school. Those of us who stood out ran together. And slept around together from the sounds of it, not that that's a bad thing. Yeah, I had a bit of a wild streak when I was younger. Aura definitely remembers well from what he's been telling me. He's not very ashamed of talking about stuff like that. We're so different in that regard. Wallace? Yeah? Maybe we should drop the diary in this topic for the project. I don't think it's good for you. You read it once and freaked out, then this happened the day after. I think we should drop it. That whole whatever that was yesterday happened to all of us, not just me. I stand by what I said. I'm fine. I'm doing a lot better, and I don't think whatever happened yesterday was because of the diary. At least I hope it wasn't. I don't want you reading it anymore. Get Lucas or Lily to do it. Fine, but if I want to, I'm going to. Lee growls but doesn't argue any further. He doesn't look angry, just frustrated that I'm not listening to him. I'm not trying to piss him off, and I just don't want to give up on this. Not yet. After talking to Kostya, it's clear there's something more going on behind what happened. He lets out a sigh and wipes a hand over his face, giving him the impression of someone much older. He looks tired. Just don't overwork yourself, kid. I'll take care of myself. And look over the other one. He's probably worse than you at taking care of himself. I think Aura's got that covered, but I'll try. With an affirming huff, he closes the gap until he's right next to the others, forcing me to pick up my pace. My short legs are no contest for Lee's lengthy limbs. These lengthy limbs. Okay, boys, we're here. The cafe that Aura points to is only visible through a single opening slide door, but the light coming through gives a warm atmosphere and the smell of cinnamon flows out. The inside is much bigger than the outside indicated. It's a large room with tables running in a long line. The seating ranges from circular tables to booths, and there's students sprinkled throughout. The part that grabs my attention the most is the decor. Across the walls above the bar are many different pride flags ranging from the iconic rainbow to ones I don't recognize. How'd you even find this place? It's a little hole in the wall for people who need it. Most won't come into a cafe hidden away like this, so it's usually only people who are brought here by their friends. It's an accepting place for us queers. I figured it was something like that, but it isn't until Aura points it out do I notice how most of the people here are paired up with only people of the same gender. There's even a pair of male wolves who are cuddling. Oh. Don't worry, it's not a hookup place. Not any more than a usual cafe. It's just some place you can come if you wanted to feel safe to be yourself. There's not a lot of those. I would have loved a place like this in high school. Well, I think Everwinter High was worse than most places. Doesn't help we're a little older, too. The youth are a lot more accepting these days. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!